India is currently a $3 trillion economy, and it is the third largest energy consumer on the planet. To fuel that growth, it requires a massive, uninterrupted flow of global trade. This map shows the traditional equatorial view of global trade. For decades, routes connecting India to Europe and East Asia relied on lanes across the globe's center. But these forced ships through congested, vulnerable choke points, the Suez Canal and Strait of Malacca. We saw exactly how fragile the system is when the Ever Given container ship wedged sideways across the Suez Canal, or more recently, as attacks in the Red Sea forced companies to halt transit entirely. When your entire economic lifeline relies on narrow waterways surrounded by instability, you have to find a backdoor to global markets. From a polar perspective, the geography of global trade shifts. The Arctic Ocean ceases to be a frozen barrier and becomes a central, navigable corridor. The centerpiece of this strategy is the Northern Sea Route. This is a shipping lane running directly along Russia's Siberian coast, connecting the Barents Sea all the way to the Bering Strait. To access it, India is developing the Eastern Maritime Corridor. By drawing a line from the eastern port of Chennai to the Russian port of Vladivostok, Indian ships gain a direct jumping-off point into the Arctic. By bypassing the traditional southern lanes entirely, this northern path cuts the transit distance between East Asia and Europe by up to 40%. By looking north, a nation geographically trapped near the equator repositions itself as a central hub in a new polar trade network. There is also a massive resource incentive driving this pivot. Geologists estimate the Arctic holds roughly 22% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural gas. India is actively securing those resources. They now handle 35% of the cargo at Russia's Murmansk port and are investing heavily in Russian infrastructure, like the Vostok oil project. Deepening these Arctic ties also serves as a strategic hedge. By providing Russia with an alternative to Beijing's investment, India prevents a Chinese monopoly over the high north. Getting early access to this route is a deliberate move to maintain strategic autonomy and prevent a Sino-Russian monopoly over the world's newest trade route. Trade and energy are major drivers, but for India, the Arctic is also a matter of survival. Climatologists often refer to the Himalayas as the third pole. Research indicates that as Arctic ice vanishes, it alters the temperature gradient between the pole and the tropics, disrupting the upper atmosphere jet streams that pull moisture across the Indian subcontinent. These atmospheric shifts directly correlate with the volatility of the summer monsoon, the primary driver of India's $3 trillion economy and the source of food security for over 1 billion people. To study these changes firsthand, India maintains a permanent scientific presence at the Himadri Research Station in Svalbard, Norway. Having scientists stationed thousands of miles away in the high north is the only way to accurately protect the food supply in the global south. Navigating this route comes with severe financial barriers. Standard cargo ships cannot survive here. Companies have to invest in specialized ice-class vessels, ships with reinforced steel hulls designed for freezing waters, and hire costly nuclear-powered icebreakers to clear a path. There is also a steep diplomatic cost. By financing Russian Arctic projects, India must navigate severe Western sanctions imposed as a result of the war in Ukraine. Then there is the environmental paradox. Increased shipping traffic deposits black carbon, essentially dark soot, onto the pristine ice. This dark layer absorbs sunlight and rapidly accelerates the melting process. That accelerated melting contributes directly to rising sea levels, which physically threatens the coastal infrastructure of major Indian economic hubs like Mumbai and Chennai. India is caught in a dangerous feedback loop. The trade route designed to secure its economic future risks drowning the very coastal cities that are meant to benefit from it. Right now, despite the warming climate, the Northern Sea Route is only reliably navigable for 4 to 6 months out of the year. Yet when officials weigh the immense costs against the geopolitical rewards, shorter transit times, massive untapped energy reserves, and a check on Chinese influence, the calculation leans firmly north. For a nation determined to secure its status as a global superpower, ignoring the opening of a new ocean is simply not an option. India has permanently expanded its reach from the warm waters of the equator to become a serious stakeholder in the polar north.